Episode 28 of Trying British Foods. I live in Manhattan and I have discovered a shop that sells British food items that are not otherwise available in American stores, so I am working my way through recommendations that you all send to me. I received a lot of questions over the course of the series of why I have never reviewed any tea. And there are really two simple answers for that. One is that most of the tea that I am seeing in the shop is tea that actually is pretty widely available in the US. I'm really not finding too many things that you can't really get, and that breaks the rules. The second reason, and I'm being earnest here, I'm not being sarcastic, is I appreciate that tea occupies such a cultural cornerstone that I approach it with a lot of respect and reverence. I've been a little reluctant to even go anywhere near it just because I know how important it is. However, there are two teas in the shop that I have never seen in the US before and that I am just dying with curiosity to try, so I'm going to go through those today. First is this Lady Grey tea. So now we have Earl Grey tea in the US extremely commonly, but I have never even heard of Lady Grey tea until one of my followers recommended it to me, and now I'm so curious to see exactly what this is going to taste like, just having never even heard of it. So this is black tea with orange peel, lemon peel, natural citrus flavors, and other natural flavors. Then I have this Yorkshire tea. It is breakfasty toast and jam brew. It says tastes like jam on toast. Never seen this in the US before, certainly. And the blurb just really got me, and I'm gonna read this verbatim. A proper breakfasty brew. Toast? Jam? Yep, you read that right. We've squished the taste of the world's greatest breakfast combo into an extra strong Yorkshire tea blend. It's a mighty morning brew with a lip-smacking smattering of toasty, jammy loveliness, ready to send you into the day with a spring in your step, a smile in your soul, and absolutely no jam on your chin. So many jokes I could make here, but we are on TikTok, aren't we? Also just want to point out at the bottom of this, under the brewing instructions, it says you can enjoy this either with or without milk. Now, traditionally, I actually don't ever put milk or sugar into my tea, but I know I would be scolded on here if I don't. So I have added milk to both of these, no sugar. Hopefully that will ensure that you all can breathe just a little bit easier and just get a little bit of a better night's sleep tonight. Then to go with the tea, I have made fresh in the shop. I have a raisin scone. Now this has both clotted cream as well as jam on it. You can pay a little extra, and they added this themselves, so this is all them. I would just point out though that I know there is a lot of controversy over whether the clotted cream or the jam goes on top in this sort of situation. Now I want to say two things really clearly about that. Number one, here on Trying British Foods, we do not bottom shame anybody, ever. Second thing I want to say is that it appears that they have put the jam on top in this instance, which in my head actually makes more sense than the other way around. So I suppose I am team whatever it is that puts jam on top for their scones. And lastly, I have this bag of, we would say Haribo, I'm assuming you say Haribo, authentic Pontefract cakes. So this is soft licorice, black licorice. I'm actually fascinated with why these are called cakes. I suppose this is just a legacy thing. I'm sure someone would be happy to tell me in the comments. Of course, do have black licorice here, but I've never seen these in particular, these cakes. These look very sophisticated and chic to me on the front, so I'm really happy about that. And it says on the back, did you know Pontefract cakes are over 250 years old, created back in 1760. The Lady Grey tea. Okay, I have added milk into this. I like this a lot. I actually do prefer this to Earl Grey, and I like Earl Grey just fine. But it has just a little bit more flavor. It's not quite as bitter as Earl Grey tea is. You can definitely taste the citrus in this that I feel like rounds it out and just makes it a little bit more interesting. And personally, I would say, I wouldn't even recommend adding any sugar to this, truly. It has its own natural sweetness that Earl Grey doesn't have. This is great. I'm really happy someone recommended this. This is really good. And then the breakfasty toast and jam brew. I have to say, I am really impressed. This actually does taste like jam on toast. It really does. To the extent that tea could. What is in here, actually? Okay, just black tea and natural flavorings. This is incredibly impressive. This absolutely does what it says it's going to do. This tastes exactly how it says. This is really good. If you haven't tried this, you really should. Very good. Raisin scone with clotted cream and jam. This is really good. The scone is incredible by itself. I mean, I would even just have that, like with some tea or some coffee or something. I think I would put some clotted cream on it. The jam is perfectly good, perfectly nice. I actually think the jam is a step too far for my own personal taste. I actually would leave the jam off. I know that's sacrilege, but personally, I would say maybe a little less jam, but otherwise that would be perfect. And the Haribo Pontefract cakes. Okay, I have to be honest, just at first appearance, these do not resemble the image that's on the front of this packaging. I have to say, slightly misleading here, but I feel like this is the same basic concept. This is kind of like that meme of like what you order versus what arrives, but you know, that's okay. That's all right. This is really interesting. I have to say, this is not really what I was expecting. So points where it's due. This is very soft, easy to chew. In a gummy, we know that's not always guaranteed, so points for that. This actually doesn't really taste like licorice to me. This tastes more like molasses, or you might call it treacle, rather than like a licorice sweet candy. Very different than what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting this flavor. It is good, but I'm really glad I tried these because this is not at all what I was thinking, and we would not really have this flavor in the US in this way. So really interesting. Thank you very much for the recommendations, and I'll see you next time.